You're in Braves country.
Good morning. Welcome to Braves Country today as the Atlanta Braves get another big W in New York. And what a performance by Charlie Morton. 7 innings, 11 strikeouts, no earned runs, 1 hit allowed. Even that hit was questionable. You could have arguably made that an error, but the Atlanta Braves get the W, giving up 2 hits total. They only get 5, but the big one was the 3-run blast by Dansby Swanson in the 3rd inning. And the Atlanta Braves, not only did Charlie Morton hold the line, the bullpen, Minter, Smith, they come in, and the game brings the Atlanta Braves 1 game closer in the standings. And so now we are 4 games out of first place, which is huge in the big picture, as the Atlanta Braves are going to be trying to inch their way closer. A little bit of news in the rest of the division. If you missed this, the Washington Nationals and Philadelphia Phillies got into it. Max Scherzer was asked to basically disrobe and take off everything to check to make sure that he didn't have any funny stuff in his hat, like spider tack, etc. So this is the extension of Sticky Gate by the baseball commissioner, Rob Manfred. And long story short, I think they've called him the Terminator because he's got the one eye that's different. Anyways, Max Scherzer got pissed, and Max Scherzer goes out, and he essentially, basically stares down Girardi. And when he stares down Girardi, the manager of the Phillies, on his way to the bullpen, Girardi gets heated. He says it wasn't that he was calling out players. He was mad at some coaches in the Washington dugout that he was familiar with. I don't know what the Washington manager said, but he was claiming that it was disingenuous, that it was basically trying to call him out. So he called them out. And the way he did it, if it was a player, they're getting suspended. So it's going to be interesting to see what happened, because he was basically egging them on, like with the way when you're motioning like this, you can say whatever you want to say, claim whatever you want to claim, Girardi. But it looks like to me that you are challenging someone in that dugout to a fist fight. So we go on from that, and now the Atlanta Braves, 4 games out of first. Philadelphia, they fall to Washington in the game. Basically, they were asking them to search Scherzer because they were getting absolutely stifled by him. Philadelphia, Atlanta, and Washington, after last night's action, we are all tied 4 games out of first place. Going in 4 wide into the corners, we head towards the what I like to mark as another benchmark, which is 4th of July weekend. And 4th of July weekend is just around the corner. And we got a 4-way tie, got a lot of baseball left. The Braves are not down, and they're not dead, as a lot of people may have thought. It's been a rough month of baseball. Braves have not played particularly well, but they're starting to play a little better. They've won 2 in a row, 6 of their last 10. And now today is another big one, because we once again playing the New York Mets. So 1 game is worth 2. You lose this, you're back to 5 games out. If you win this, you go from 4 to 3. So big matchup, and big news in that matchup. You are no longer going to have Max Fried like originally planned. He went on the IL with a blister, and so it is retroactive to June 19th. So essentially, I believe that Fried will pitch sometime next week. It'll be interesting to see how they massage it, because they might wait until the Braves play the the Mets to bring him back, but we'll see how that works out in the overall scheme of things. Kyle Wright comes back up. Kyle Wright has not pitched in a hot minute. I believe I want to say April 18th. I'm going to double check that real quick. Was the last time that he pitched for Atlanta. He has a 4.15 ERA, which of course, when you have a small sample size, it's like, okay, sure. But we want to see what he can actually do for an entire season. Probably not. But for a couple of starts, we want to see what he can do. He's only pitched the one outing. It was April 16th. Excuse me. So April 16th, it was in Chicago. For people who, may not have been watching then because they were locked into other things. He pitched okay. It was 4 and a third inning, 2 earned runs. He did have 5 strikeouts, but the Cubs were playing really bad baseball at the time. So you got to take that start with a grain of salt. It was cold in Chicago, and we'll see what he's got. This guy has been very, very frustrating for Braves fans, for Braves management, because he is quintessential, one of the more talented pitchers in the entire organization, but he never seems to put it together. He never seems to get it going. He seems to make it a few innings, and then he might even make it a start or two, and then he falls apart. And even when he pitched well last year, he did not pitch well for a very long period of time. So you hope for the best. The Atlanta Braves, they still have not announced a starter for the Mets. It looks like it's going to be Tyler Megill, and Tyler Megill, that's been the rumor. Tyler Megill, he gonna pull up his stats real quick. This year, Tyler Megill does not have an ERA. They'd be pulling him up from the minors for a spot start. Overall, in the minors, he's 2-1 with the 3.35 ERA. That's not terrible. It looks like that he is a strikeout guy. So it'll be interesting to see. When I'm looking at his stats, he looks like he's more of a bullpen guy than he is a guy that can go deep into the game. So this may be a bit of a bullpen game. Go out and try to get as many as you can out of, I think I'm pronouncing it right, Megill, Megill, or Miguel, 25-year-old right-hander. And he is 6'7", 230, so a big kid. And it looks like he is a strikeout pitcher. So we'll find out long-term, looking at what he has done in the minors. It's been pretty impressive. But of course, this would be his first appearance in Major League Baseball. So he's only played in the 2018 in single A, and then 2019, 2021. So there you have that. That's the starting pitcher for the Mets. It appears to be. They have not officially announced it, but it looks like that's what they're leaning towards from everything I read last night and this morning. Okay, so what does that mean? It means you got a young kid, 2 young kids on the mound. It's basically going to come down to whichever offense can take advantage of that. And the Atlanta Braves offense, even with their injuries in their, whatever you want to call the whole Ozuna thing, suspension lurking, whatever, they've still got a better offense than the New York Mets. The New York Mets offense has struggled all year. If you look at their game log, what you see is a lot of low-scoring ball games, but the Mets win with the pitching. Now, the Mets have hit it hard. Once again, Stroman gets hurt last night. It is a mash unit out there with the Mets right now. So you got to pay attention to that. You got to look at the long-term effects this is going to have on the Mets as well, not just for today, not just for tomorrow, but the long term, because if you lose Stroman for any length of time, that puts a lot of pressure on DeGrom, who has been injury prone in his own right, to pitch at an elite level with several innings. DeGrom recently has been averaging around 5 to 6 innings a start. He can get into the 7th. Obviously, he's the best pitcher in baseball, but I think they've been kind of, I don't know if you want to call babying him, but they definitely have been putting bubble wrap on him. Well, if Stroman is out now, that is going to be a tough go for the New York Mets, because the Mets are going to have to look deep into their bullpen. They've got Lugo and they've got some other guys that are really good, but how long can you continue to lean on just that? We've seen it in Atlanta. You have to have starting pitching, and they've got a big series beginning this coming weekend against the Phillies, where they're going to play a doubleheader on Friday. So we look forward to that. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Go Braves. Come on, Kyle Wright. Let's see more of the same that we saw late season last year and less of what we've seen throughout his career. We want to see a good solid. We're not even expecting the moon and stars. We just want a solid outing. 5 innings, 6 would be great. A quality type start, 6 innings, 3 earned runs allowed, 5 innings, 2 earned runs allowed. That kind of thing where you keep your team in the ball game and let the Freddie Freemans and the Acuñas and the Ozzies do their work. Riley's got to get going again. He's been a little quiet, but nothing drastic. These guys got to get going, and hopefully that was a good sign for Dansby Swanson last night, because he ripped that home run. We'll see you tomorrow. Go Braves. 4-game series against the Cincinnati Reds in Cincinnati begins tomorrow.
You're in Braves country.